Well, welcome. So we are
Hi.
we are live in a few groups and on YouTube, and we have not done a live class since before R4. Things have been crazy, but I am super stoked that you wanted to do this class because it is something I could never teach because I've never used the whole Lightroom and all of that. But I do know recently I was on a trip and we're all taking photos of stuff, and then one of the girls that was on the trip sent me pictures that she had taken of like my husband and I was like, the pictures were amazing, and I'm like, what are you using? What phone do you have? Same phone as me. And then she told me this is what she uses to edit her photos. So ironically, the next week, this is when all of this came about, and I'm like, yes. So, Stacey, thank you so much for joining us in the class and teaching us how to do this. I am going to try to do this along with you. I am going to share the link to a presentation so that people have that as well. And we'd love to know who's joining with us and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to share the link, but if you could introduce us to yourself, what you do, and what we're going to learn about today.
Well, hello, Remax. My name is Stacey, and today I'm going to show you how to go and upload your mobile presets to your Lightroom account and how to even go about that process. It is so super fun, and like Heather said, is just a game changer. I get compliments all the time when people say, "Oh my gosh, your photos look outstanding. What are you doing?" And I'm like, really nothing. And that's the beauty of it. It is like a little magic wand in your back pocket. It is really for making professional edits on the go. And that's why I love it. I got rid of all the other applications that I had, and this kind of replaced everything. So I'm so excited to share with you like my little magic wand tricks. And if you guys are watching, say hi. And along with, I also have something very special in my back pocket of how you can get free presets after we go through the process. So
I love free.
I
Free's
do
always
too.
good.
All is going to be so well. So Heather had given us the presentation link for those who would like to go and follow along. That kind of gives everything on a rundown. I will share my mobile screen with you. And then we're just going to go about the process of how to even get started, where to find the preset downloads that we have, and what is Lightroom, how to go and do that. And the first question is, oh, how much is it? And everything in it is free. So that's the beauty of it. The presets being shared with you today, they're free as well. So
Oh,
I'm
I
so
love.
excited.
No, that's awesome. So, are you ready to share your screen?
Yes, alrighty.
Here we
So
go.
as we
Look
can
at
see,
pictures of
this
the
is my
booty.
Thank you. This is my mobile screen. This is my mobile home screen. And I like to keep everything organized, as you can see. And I call it apps that I use because I find that I go back to it every single time. And the first thing is going into our downloads to go and have that Dropbox link. And Heather, if you have that Dropbox link, please share it on over. And then I have where it says apps that I use. And I have Dropbox already here. So the first step would obviously be to download Dropbox from your app store. And then after you have Dropbox, going into the link because that's where all the presets will be stored. And you have a great preset bundle pack. And here they are. So I'm going to go in, and after I have all the presets, I'm going to go and tap in on the presets. And I have ones that are called real estate related, and then of course fun. Who doesn't like to have beautiful fun pictures? And that's just my favorites. Favorites I go to all the time, again and again. So I'm going to go and just, for the time's sake, grab just one or two or three, and then just going in and showing you how to create them in Lightroom. So after we have all of our presentation links, here is the Dropbox, and I'm going to go and just going in here. And I like to always say is going up. I work Android. I'm pretty sure iPhone users, you can figure this out. It should be a little bit easier. So I do apologize. I'm a little back in the day, and I'm just going to
My
hit
husband is anti-I anything.
I feel his pain. So I'm going to go and hit export. And what I'm going to do is export it to my device. And after I have it on the device and after it's in Lightroom, it's going to save into the Lightroom cloud, and then I can just get rid of it. But for me, in case of something I'm a worry word time after time after time, I like to store it into my mobile just in case if something happens to that preset or Lightroom doesn't recognize the color scheme. I just like to have it just for a safety net. And I'm going to say save to my device. And if you are from Lightroom Desktop, as you can see, I have a few that I'm working on that are in folders. You can actually go and connect it to your mobile. So if you're working on something on your Lightroom Desktop, you can then move it to your mobile. So that is a really, really fun thing. So I'm working on a few things, and I'm just going to have my DNG file save, which is a digital negative file, and it stores all of that information. After I have it exported and saved, I'm going to grab another one, which is another interior shot, and I'm going to export, this one as well. And then I'm going to go in and find one that might be an exterior. And I do have some pictures that I did take. Please ignore them because they are really bad on my camera phone, but this is going to make it seamlessly beautiful. And the same process here as well. Now you can do a huge export. That is going to just take a lot of time to go and just download all the files. That's why I'm only picking about 4. And save. And now that I have everything, if I wanted to do that big export when it comes time, I can click on where it has a little check button, check them all, and then export that way. But we're going to save ourselves a little bit of time on that one, and we're just going to pass over it. So now I have 4. And I'm going to go back out, and we're going to go into Lightroom. And Lightroom is free, again, in the App Store to go and download. And if it's your first time, it's going to ask you to sign up. It is not my first time, so obviously I have a few of these, and there is my mess of albums, as you can all see, and all the photos I drop in here, and I kid you not, I use this all the time.
My new passion is taking pictures of the outside and nature and stuff. It's slowly become a passion of mine. So I'm like, and after seeing what this can do, I was like, okay, yes, I need to learn this.
Yes, and that is the beauty of it. You just subconsciously don't think that you're going to go into it. And that is why I love dropping it into, sharing it into my Lightroom. It instantly imports, and then I can just select the preset, save, send it off, done. And that's amazing. It saves you so much time. But after you've gone through the setup screen, you're going to be kind of sort of empty. It's going to say, hey, welcome to Lightroom. You're going to skip over. Yeah, skip over the steps, and it's going to tell you everything. So I like to go and start with, it says albums. I have a lot of albums because I like to make a lot of tests and junk and etc. And as you can see, I created one that says the number 1 on it. And we're going to hit the plus, and you're going to hit create new album. And it's going to give it a timestamp, but you can create something where it is something uniquely to you. For the time being, I'm going to label this as album 2. And after it's all done, it's going to have a 0 like my other ones when I play with them. And I'm going to go in here, and now we're going to create our preset. And that's the biggest thing, is after you create the album, it has the preset. So when my Lightroom Mobile backs itself up, it will back itself up to the cloud, and I will have this until the end of time. But if you remember where I said I'm a worrywart and I like to save my items, this is where I have, in case if something happens to it, or if the file gets corrupted, then I have it instantly saved to my mobile device, and it's right there. So I can always kind of sort of reset it. So going in, we're going to create our own preset group, and we're going to name all of our presets. So I'm going to click on the plus on the bottom. And
I'm following along on my iPhone, just so you know.
Oh, good. Did I go too fast?
Nope, I'm right there with you.
Amazing. So I'm going to say where it says add photos from. And if you remember, I like to save it to my device. So I'm going to go to device, and it's going to come up where it says raw. And that is the selection I would like, because that is where it holds all of that detail and information. And I'm going to go and tap on multiples and hit add. And it's going to look like it did nothing. So we're going to wait until they actually get uploaded, and Lightroom tells me that they are all imported. And this one could actually take a while. So bear with me, guys.
And I'm just adding a couple photos. So I'm a nerd. So it shows my option was from whatever, and I just chose camera roll. And then I went into an album on my camera roll because I keep those organized. And I just chose my Jeep. And so I just added a few photos from my Jeep, and I see them now.
Does it say roll up on the top?
I mean, I have, just like yours, I see my pictures and I'm right where you're at.
Okay. And that's the biggest thing, is that if we click import from device, as long as it says raw over on the top, that's all that we're worried about. If it doesn't, please redo that process until you can find where it is being stored on your phone. So going back in, here are some of our presets. I have 4, just to preview, exterior and interior photos. And it has our office, so please do not say, oh, your photos look a little off today. And I'm like, oh, it's the office. And it was just me playing around with our office photos for the template. And to make our preset group and to make the physical preset, I'm going to select one, and it will bring us into the builder. And this literally looks like the same builder that you will have when you go and create your Lightroom. So you have crop, profiles, auto, light, and I can scroll along the bottom. And it has color corrections, effects, anything with a star. That is a paid feature in mobile, but you don't have to go and pay. Again, I think they give you a lot for free. And this is the little button where it looks like a little circle over a circle, and it says preset. So I really like that part. Okay. And it's going to say, here is your predetermined preset. And it has it all right in here. I'm going to go back out. And I'm going to actually click on where I have dots up on top. And I am going to click Create Preset. So the little editor can be deceiving because it almost looks like the same of when you're going in and editing your photos. To actually create the preset and preset group bundle, this is the part where I'm going to go very, very slow. You have the preset group, and it says user preset, and that is just by system default. I can actually click on where it says user preset and then create new preset group. And now I can name my preset something unique. And in this case, it's going to be real estate. Oops, if I can spell. I'm going to label it 1, just so I know where it is. So now I have my preset selected, and now I'm going to go and name my untitled preset itself. So I like to go off of a number scale, 1 being the brightest and 5 being the darkest. And if you go and you actually download the link, you have about a good 39 presets. So definitely take your time in seeing where, who, what, where, when, why. So I'm going to call it real estate. I'm going to call it real estate 1 just to save me some time right here. And once all is good, I'm going to go and hit OK. And it looks like it did not do anything. I'm going to go in and slide over because I didn't realize I was on the last one. And this one looks a little bit lighter. And I'm going to call this real estate 2. And you see where I'm going with this. I'm going to hit create preset again. I have my preset group already determined. And then I have the preset name, and I'm going to label this real estate 2 and hit save. And when we actually go and import photos, I will show you where that is sitting, just because it really does not look like you're doing much. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. And then this is an exterior photo that I have. I still have my preset group. I'm going to call it EXT. I'm going to call it EXT1 to abbreviate it, and swipe over again. Here it is. And I have where I'm creating a preset, real estate group, and you can change out your groups as well. But I like to keep everything kind of sort of organized. And then if I were to go and rename by accident almost the same name, it prompts me and says, hey, you have duplicated something. And I'm going to just say, you know what? Didn't mean that, because I really did not. And that's why I love Lightroom. It auto-corrects the dummy, as I call it, aka me. And there we go. Now we are ready to go and upload our mobile photos. And after this seamless process is all over and you have everything in there, I kid you not, this is going to be the one where you get the longest process in the whole entire thing. Now we get to do the fun part, which is actually going out of here and actually importing our photos into our library. So then we're going to go into our library, and I have all my photos, and here's all my photos, everything I ever take. As you can see, my personal photos go in here, and anything else if I really, really wanted to. Here's me and Colleen, who is our front desk, and we are cleaning up some leaves. So this was, sent over from an iPhone to me, and it looked a little dark, so I gave it some nice tint and tone. I have everything on here. So now is the perfect time. You're going to do the same process where we click and add the photo. And I actually am not going to choose the one where it says raw, because I don't want to touch those. I'm going to choose the one that I took today and hit add. And as soon as it adds, it will then kind of sort of come in and tell you that it imported. And now here is the fun part. We can actually go and start creating. So this is the part where I said it does look deceiving. And it looks like, hey, it's almost the same thing. But scrolling along the bottom, I'm going to select my preset. And this is what the system automatically defaults to, which is color. If you click the arrow down and scroll all the way down, I can find where I have real estate, which was my little preset that we just made in that little group. And here they all are. And I can literally tap and you can see the change. I'm going to do the second one, tap, and you can see the change. It is really, really nice to see a difference in them. I'm going to hit the check mark, which means, okay, I enjoy it. And if I am looking at this and I'm saying, I don't remember what it looks like before, I kind of want to see the difference. If you tap and you hold, here's my before. And if I let go, here's my after. There is such a difference, because I really do love the tone, the color, the enhancement, the quality, and just editing within here as well, instead of, dragging it into a different application or anything else. So I can go into optics. I can, help it along a little bit. I can go into detail and sharpen it so it looks nice and crisp. I can update its texture, dehaze it a bit. I can even crop. And once I am good and done, the magic happens where we can go and send it off, and I can share this too. And if you have my Photofy people, if you have Photofy, you can connect it right in here. Oopsie doodle. You can connect it right in here, and it has your Photofy ready to go. You can connect it to your Facebook, or you can share it. After it's done, it automatically, oopsie. Okay, if I can get out of Photify for 1 second. After it's done, it will save automatically to your camera roll. But if I would like to, I can go and save it to my device, get the link, and much more.
That's crazy. So how did you get for that picture to go into your Photify?
Share to. One more time. I like your question, Heather. And it's going to go and, load the photo itself. And it's going to pull up for me. It says I have one item, and I can then hear all
And then
the
you just click on
applications.
and then you could add the stickers or do whatever you want.
Yes.
Oh my, that's crazy.
So here I go, artwork. I can then say, here we go, and go into
And
it.
the unicorn.
Yes, I could do my favorite thing, which I now figured out there is a unicorn. You can do exactly the same. So if your clients, oh, hi, Anna, oops, just like Frozen.
I guess she must have commented and then it just said so now she's got it.
Yes.
I know it's been a while, right?
Yes, it has. But the best part is, say if you have clients, you snap a photo, you have this stored in your mobile device, your clients are running late to their appointment, play around with it. Go in here, play around with it, make something, drop it in a template. It's all there for you. And that is the beauty of it.
I mean, that's really like almost a game changer, because I know so many agents, when they sell a house, they'll usually take a picture of the house if it's not their listing, at closing with them or just the property. And the thing is like they're not, they're great at selling real estate, but not so great at taking pictures. But for them to be able to, while you're fixing that, I'll see it on the bottom there.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. But they could, if they take dark pictures, for them to be able to just go in and hit the Lightroom, then go into Photify to add, welcome home or whatever it is, that makes it a lot easier than having to do it, save it. Now you have to open Photify. I think we're good. There it is. Yep. Then having to go back in there. That's pretty cool.
It is very cool. I use this all the time. And when I tell you I do not go and use any other mobile software, this is it. I don't have time to sit there and think about it. And I had someone recently go to me, explain their process in Photoshop, explain everything else to me. And they literally take it with their camera, their DSLR. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what if I saved you a little bit of trouble, a little bit of time, and showed you how to make things as a preset, and you have it as a mobile device? And he said, oh, really? How are you going to do that? And I said, it is the easiest thing. It's free, and I'll share with you my mobile presets. And this is it. This is the magic. And if I, again, tap on it, that is my original photo of before. And it's just like the equivalent of having that magic wand. And it makes everything happier.
Do you have a question? So are you basically like, I went through the steps, but I hadn't downloaded from your Dropbox those pictures. So is that where, because I was like, okay, well, nothing changed, but I didn't do it. So is that what it is? Like you have the presets in that Dropbox folder. So I just need to download those and then do the same exact steps.
So going back to, great question. Going back to where you said everything, and this is where I had my little presets. They come up as, just like as you see, I clicked on the button to go share it with the device, and over on the top, it should have the picture and it should say raw. I don't know how zoomed in.
I didn't download those, so I totally missed that part, and then the rest of it was way over my head. I was just watching you.
No worries.
Okay, so I didn't download from the Dropbox folder, which I have the Dropbox link in here. So those are pre-done presets.
Yes.
Just save those to my phone and then go in just like you did to name. Okay. I think I got it now.
And of course, rewatch this, and the helpful guide is there as well. And I have underneath my presets, I labeled my preset group, which is Real Estate 1. And here is Real Estate 1, where I have just tap and go, and they all are loaded in there. and they're all for your disposal as well. So it's not just me hoarding it and saying, oh, it's all mine and you don't get it. This is for you guys as well.
And how would I make my own preset? So, and I don't know if this is the same thing. I know a lot of people like on Instagram, like they have presets because they like their photos to have kind of the same look and feel. So how would
Presets are
I?
so easy. All right, good question. Presets are easy. So after you have a select preset, let's go and use this as an example. I can go in here and play around with this and rename it as preset number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5
So
or
to
6.
create your own is I basically would edit my photo using the settings and then save that.
And you would then hit create preset. And then that would be the created preset, and that could be number 3 or 4. And it's really, really nice to have that in your back pocket. And that's all I do is I sit here and I create maybe 5, 6, if I really get creative, maybe 13, and I have them all in order. And on that Dropbox, you'll definitely see here's interior 1 to 13, exterior 1 to 13, and some fun ones as well. And if you're not creative, I did promise you, if you stayed with us this long, thank you, I would show you exactly how to find free presets in Lightroom.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you would like me to
I'm
do that,
still
just let me know.
still having fun with my little
It is very, very fun. And it is something where you could just go in all day and just play with it. It's so super fun to snap some photos. My test subjects are my dogs. So I'm like, hey, let me test this one out on Everest or Hendrix. And as you asked before how many presets and groups you can have, I actually have something where I call it Stacey's number 1. And I have about 570 presets saved in there. Because again, I go crazy. So this is real estate.
I will not be having 500 presets.
And this is where it says Stacey's number 1, and I lied. It's 564. So
my God.
I go insane on this app, and I love it because there's stuff where you can go and just create and make, and that's exactly what I like to do. And it's just a total different photo and different editing software that you will never see. So now that we're getting closer to the end, hopefully you stayed with us. I did promise exactly where you can find extras and free. It's going to be on the bottom where it says Discover. And it's going to say, this came out recently, so I'm going to say a couple months ago, where it allows you as the user to collaborate with other users. So if you like a photo, let's see. Excuse me while I'm very picky. Let's do this one. Here is a model. You're going to see it being edited in live time. And at the bottom where it says edit, you can see exactly what they've done. And you can actually get this person's preset. So this is a user, and they are giving you the ability, and they are sharing their preset of the exact same steps that they did. So now you don't have to think about it. You don't have to go in and try to sit there for hours like I do and create it. You can go here on the Discover and hit Save Preset and Preset Group. If you're me, you have real estate. And now I can name it whatever I would like to remember, but I'm going to call it Urban. And now it's saved in my real estate preset group. And it is free. So it's really nice to kind of go in here as well. They do have at the bottom where it's like landscape, travel, people, food.
Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun with all this stuff right now.
It is addicting, I promise you. So that is basically everything in Lightroom. Is there something that I did not cover or anything else that people have questions on?
I have no questions.
That's good.
But it could be like me playing along is this little squirrel brain thing is happening right now.
And that is perfectly fine. The more that you play with it, the more that you're going to get used to it and accustomed to it. And that is what I love. I love going in here. I love playing around with it. I love just learning more. And the discover piece is what I have a field day at, because I'm like, oh my gosh, look, I didn't know that you can do that. And
Well,
some
just for
people,
the dummies like me who don't know what they're doing, this
yes,
Discover
you're
featured
not a
thing.
dummy. A lot of people wouldn't, unless if you have spent years in Lightroom, a lot of people wouldn't have, known how to go and execute XYZ. So I really like to see what the average user is using. And some people are really creative and they do
No,
share
no, and this
everything.
is great. This is
It is
really
so
cool
great.
to see. I don't know. I mean, oh, what's the doggy? Oh, that's clear. I'm gonna have to save this as a preset. That was a cute doggy.
Yes, they have a lot of great stuff. And it's so fun to watch like the timeline go along with it, because then
Right,
you're just sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
see that transformation of the original and what they did as their presets, and I don't have to figure out how to do it. I just save it,
Yes.
and now I'm gonna have to go play with my dogs and some pictures.
That's exactly what I did to start. I said, come on, dogs. And by the end of the day, they are like, lady, please go away from me. I had enough of you.
I
But
think
it's
mine
really,
are
really
getting
fun.
used to. Well, they see the camera and they go to another room now,
Aw.
but they
But
sleep a lot. So luckily, I get a lot of sleeping pictures.
and
But this
that
is
is the cool thing.
great. This
Yes.
is awesome.
I'm so happy to share this with you guys.
And don't forget, we have the presentation link. This will have other links and different ideas, basically what we just did in a presentation style. And then grab Stacey's pre-done presets using this Dropbox links, which is going to be everywhere. I've got it in both groups and stuff. And then the big thing right there is that discover and seeing, getting other presets, looking at the before and after for what I like, a lot of nature, my animals, and my Jeep, because I don't take pictures of houses. So I'm going to be playing for sure. But
I
this
can't
is
wait to
great.
see. Yes. And if you tag me in your photos and you have it in the group, I'd love to see it because it is phenomenal. It's great.
What is that link to?
I am not too sure. Don't click it. Just
That's the Dropbox link.
Ah, okay.
But I'm just
Yay,
showing that.
Okay. maybe some people missed it. So I'm
But
really
so I have that
excited.
in no, I don't know if I have it in, I don't think I have it in both groups. So thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Yay.
So Stacey, if there's anything else, or if you guys have any questions as you start to play, make sure to tag Stacey. I'm going to be playing with this, but I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this good thing of nuggets. And did you find out about this at R4, or you had played with it, but it was mentioned at R4?
So I've actually had this for quite a while. I actually had the desktop version. And for me, when they finally gave us that bridge from the desktop version to attach it to the mobile, and mobile was recently back in 2015, desktop has been around since, I guess, 2012. I just went nuts with it because I was like, oh, I can take this on the go, no way. And I
For
had
me,
a
this
few.
is so much better mobile because that's where my photos are.
Most people have their photos on mobile. They're not going to carry around a clunky laptop or desktop or their DSLR cameras. And the agent who's on the go, this saves them so much time because, as you saw, I quickly snapped a photo, tapped my little magic wand to go and edit, dropped it into Photofy, and I basically had a piece of content probably 2 minutes or less after
Right.
everything's set up.
That's
It's really
awesome.
easy. Yes, it's awesome. I love this part.
Oh, let's see. Do we have a question from Anna? Oh, that's a good question. So if you have the desktop version and you have presets there, does it sync to the mobile version?
If you have your desktop version, that's a great question. You're actually going to go where your presets are sitting, either on the left-hand or right-hand side, depending on the user itself. And after you collect all the presets that you wish to sync over to your mobile, you will have to turn on. There's a little slider that you can turn on. And and I have CS.
I don't know what CS is.
That is
Creative
a
Suite?
version.
I
That
don't
is
know
a
what.
version, I believe. Unless if it is Creator Suite.
I have no idea.
What do you mean CS? Is that the Lightroom CS?
Elaborate. What does CS mean?
Oh, I have
CC.
CC. Oh,
What is
okay.
that? I don't
Yes.
know what that means either.
So Lightroom Mobile CC and Creative
Oh,
Cloud.
Creative Cloud.
So for me, it's actually just bridging it from Lightroom, the desktop, into, again, right click. And when it says, would you like to export, there is a little slider on it that says, would you like to export this to Lightroom Mobile CC? And if you have the old Adobe package, I'm not too sure if it will work, because for me, I like to upgrade almost every single year just to make sure everything is fresh. So I definitely
Yeah, I
see if that's
didn't.
an
And when
ability.
it went over to CC, everything was different. And it was like
Yes.
having to learn. And I never used any of this. I only used Illustrator. It was like having to learn it all over again. And I gave up because it is not easy. And it's like I had all of my presets on, the old CD. And when they went over to Creative, I lost everything. And then I was like, well, forget it. Because I was just, for years, I just click a button and it does exactly what I want it to do because I had all these presets. And I lost all that when it went from the non-cloud version to the others. And I was like, it's not worth it. Crazy.
And for me, again, it is, oh, thank you. Thanks for the comment. And for me, it's very, very easy because, again, I work at home on my desktop, and when I need to run out of the room, I just right click on the preset that I'm working on. And again, there's that little slider after it says export, export to Creative Cloud. And when I was exporting my actual raw photos of DNG files, that is when you saw my little tiny folders. If you watch the replay, you see the little tiny folders in there, and that has all of my, like, what I'm working on. And they could be called something totally weird because my app packs that I call, it makes sense to me, but to a different person, they might not. So I have to make
But
it.
that's all that I mean, if you're working,
Yes.
yes.
And
I
that's how I
totally get
take it
that.
on the go. That's exactly what I do. If I'm working on the desktop and I'm like, oh, I need to run, but I don't want to work on this sometime soon, I just kind of bridge it on over to mobile and I can just continue to work on it. So it's really, really fun. And
Awesome.
it saves me a ton of time on my photo editing. And I hope if you guys get in there, play around with it, tag us in some photos. I'd love to see what you guys can all do and what pictures you do take. So thank you again for your time.
No, thank you so much, Stacey. It's been a pleasure. And of course, if
Yes.
anyone has any questions, tag Stacey. She wants to see what you're doing. So
Yes.
put it in the thread, tag her so we can, and I will be playing. So I'm going to be playing probably with some dogs now that I have a bunch of presets because I've been saving them all from that Discover free version. But
Yes.
this is great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
For coming on. And I believe Tavia is next week with a whole bunch of automation tools that you can use. And hopefully we'll be getting our June calendar, although there is the tech tour. So everybody has a couple days of that, depending on your region. But there's a lot of good stuff coming on. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. Bye. Bye.